All right, man, we on part 3 now, man. You know what I mean? It's been a crazy story, and so far, I've been hitting my DMs on Instagram pretty much like, man, Trap Laurent's story is really like covering what really happened because a lot of people said they lived through this. So, man, yeah, that's crazy. You know, man, to hit my inbox and let me know that this shit is really true. But, I mean, you know it's true because you see, you know, all the bodies piling up there, shit like that. But, man, these niggas was living a wild life, dog. God damn.
On her Facebook page how she had been told by the police that the killer of Rico was currently in jail for another murder. Perhaps that was indeed just a coincidence, but it takes us to the next murder in this never-ending list, the tragic but inevitable murder of Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio.
Man.
2024 was sadly Foolio's last year on Earth. He started out the year ignoring all of the warning signs for him to stay far away from Florida. In his January 12th, 2024 interview on No Jumper, Remo asked him why he keeps going back to Jacksonville when people constantly try and set him up, with Foolio claiming that he doesn't know what it is, but he just loves his city and he can't stop going back, saying the only thing that would stop him going back would be a federal RICO investigation into his own gang.
So when you say shit like that and you know that you can't trust everybody in Jacksonville, why keep going back on everybody?
I just love my city, bro. Like, I love my city, bro. Like, I don't know what it is, if I be homesick or I don't know, bro. I don't know. I got a couple I trust though, but that's some old one hand. I kind of one hand type.
Yeah. But this time, like this go around, like was this an eye opener for you? Like, yeah, let me.
Oh hell yeah. So, but it just like I don't know, bro. I don't know, cause I could say that and be right back in Jacksonville, like for a funeral or something. You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy.
Damn. So you don't think there's anything that could happen that would make you actually want to leave forever?
Yeah, it's one thing, but I ain't gonna say it.
You don't want to put it down there.
Yeah, that R word, I'm scared of that word. That's why I said I'm scared of that. But that though, yeah.
Shit.
Really?
You should have been scared of more than that.
The interview
shit.
ended with Remo
that ain't what
pleading
got
with Foolio to stay out of Jacksonville, a warning that was sadly ignored, with Foolio chillingly saying that he isn't going anywhere and that he can't be killed because he's a demigod.
Nah, Foolio, just man, stay out of Jacksonville for a little bit, man, for real. Just, I know you a grown man, you're gonna do what you do, but so I just want to, you know what I'm saying? We need to do this again next year.
Yeah, that's love, bro. I'm gonna be here for sure. I ain't gonna know it. I'm a demigod, man. You can't get me.
Where'd you get the demigod thing from?
Kratos. Bro, I play a lot of games and watch a lot of movies.
Stranger Things, they be saying that too.
Kratos, man. I'm a demigod. It can't get me. I'm respect. I'm gonna be safe for shit, sure.
For sure, man.
Now, this was actually a reference to a single of his called Demigod that dropped just a few days before the No Jumper interview. This would be one of the creepiest songs predicting his own death, as the track would start with a strange skit where he pretended to be one of his own ops trying to kill him, specifically saying what car Foolio is known to drive, and then acting out a scene where they said they spotted Foolio pulling out in his car and telling those around him to shoot. And that skit ended with the fictional shooters checking the news, only to find out that Foolio survived. The rest of the song would be Foolio rapping about how he survived death so many times that he must be a demigod. But as Foolio continued to recover from his gruesome leg surgery, he kept on dropping disrespectful songs. On January the 26th, he dropped the song God Don't Know, with some scenes showing him still in a wheelchair. Ironically, in this song, he seemingly threatened Youngin Ace, rapping, "You want to know how to end this war? Then load your gun and go kill their leader." Unfortunately, little did he know how true his lyrics were, but sadly the leader that would end up getting killed would be him on his side.
That's
in the lead up to his death, Foolio was struggling to get motion for his music career too. He dropped a few pain songs that didn't really have the viral disrespect of his biggest tracks, like I Don't Need Love, a track where he once again seemed to admit that he was tired of living, explaining how he actually wished he'd in the last shooting. These songs that came out around this time were off his ironically titled album Resurrection, chillingly the last album he released while he was alive. Sadly, this project didn't perform particularly well, and posts would circulate on Reddit asking why Foolio can't seem to get a song on the charts. People in the comments argue that he hasn't been consistent, and that people are really just bored of the same disses, and that he just stays in the hood all day rather than growing as an artist. Others said you can only diss the same people so many different times in a different font before it gets played out. Others claim that his sound and mixing quality weren't the industry standard, and that he's just not talented enough to break into the mainstream. Many argued that Foolio and Ace remained on the exact same level musically, and that you don't really hear about one without hearing about the other. Others would argue that the whole Duval County music scene was just over with, as the members don't know how to move, and the most promising artists just die or go to jail. Some said that he could rap, but he just didn't know how to make a hit. And chillingly, some said that if he stayed in Jacksonville, he would definitely end up dying. Some pointed out that both Foolio and Ace peaked with When I See You and Who I Smoke, and many people were just tired of the same recycled beef. And sadly, it seemed that people had a point, and indeed Young and Ace's career had remained stagnant up until Foolio's death too. So arguably, Jacksonville Drill was dead before Foolio had even taken his last breath. Ace remained fairly quiet throughout the months that followed Foolio's foot shooting, but he did pop out with a disrespectful track titled Blood Spatter on February the 23rd, 2024, and it seemed like he might have been cryptically dissing Foolio and the shooting that happened to him a few months before, rapping, "See what happened to old boy, come out the trap when they hit him," and other bars basically saying it ain't nothing to come and get you and that his ops know not to play with him. He would claim that his gang is up on the score, as well as other lines where he says, "I bet you meet the Reaper, they killed my brother, so with us you know it's F his people." The song was from his Forgotten Star project, which dropped on March 29th, 2024. This featured various songs where he made his intentions to have Foolio killed clear, like the track Murder Man, which saw Ace saying outright, "You gon' die, I want him dead." It seemed to have more lyrics referencing the last hit attempt on Foolio, with Ace rapping, "Who that come outside that house? Who that? Boom, knocked his loose. Y'all know that we white chalk. I'ma get him, F the voodoo," with the voodoo line being an obvious reference to Foolio's 2018 hit song Voodoo. Ace would also reference the shooting that wounded Foolio's foot, rapping, "We clear the street and make him use his feet," as well as a diabolical line where he raps, "Killers laid outside it. Get him. Yeah, let's go inside this bitch," which I think refers to both the effort to kill Foolio outside his home and the original murder that started the beef, where Ace and Trey Shorty allegedly murdered Zion Brown in his home. Ace would even seem to acknowledge that his open discussion of crimes would attract a federal investigation, but claimed that when his killers come he can't control it, specifically saying that they will fold Foolio with an AR and watch, which is exactly what happened. On the song Shots Fired, Ace boldly claimed that he would have his ops killed once again, saying that his killers will come and kill his ops, openly saying that he is a killer and apologizing to his own mother, saying that he'll never stop having people killed, and saying that he's addicted to seeing blood and wants to see more, as well as bragging how his gang killed so many people they broke the score and made their ops extinct. Again, predicting Foolio's murder at his birthday party, saying that he has 100 grand for whoever kills him and that it's a party when we get him, as well as saying how frustrated he is that he hasn't killed his biggest op yet. However, Ace's Forgotten Star project didn't really get an amazing reception either. The narrative begun to suggest that Young and Ace had fallen off musically too, with a June post on Reddit saying that he's been dropping trash songs back to back and claiming that none of his friends even liked him anymore. And outside of the studio, Ace was having a bad time for other reasons too. On April the 15th, 2024, Ace was arrested at Jacksonville Beach, Florida, after being pulled over when cops found 7 guns, including a rifle and a Draco, inside his SUV. Clearly he was being monitored, but it was also clear that the cops would prefer him to be on the streets and under observation, as he would be bailed out the next day.
A Jacksonville rapper is out of jail on bond after being arrested earlier this week. Police say 26-year-old Keonta Bullard, also known as Young and Ace, was in a car with several loaded guns. As a convicted felon, he cannot be in a vehicle with guns.
6 people were inside the SUV. Officers say they found 7 loaded guns. The driver, LaShawn Worthen, was arrested for driving with a suspended license. The remaining passengers were not arrested. Our crime expert says as a convicted felon, Bullard cannot be around guns at all.
It shouldn't be in a house with them. It shouldn't be in a car with them. In this case, it was in close proximity within reach, or what they call wingspan.
And be ordered to have no contact with gang members or the people that he was riding in the car with, arguably making him a sitting duck. Now, those charges would be mysteriously dropped the following month, just before Foolio was murdered. Now, it was honestly quite shocking to see Young and Ace even being arrested in Jacksonville, as he'd reportedly been hiding out in Houston for years, where in 2021 he was also pulled over and caught with an arsenal of drugs and guns. Now, that time it was captured on body cam footage, which was eventually released in 2024, just months before that Jacksonville arrest, with Ace refusing to even tell the cops what city he stayed in and denying being in a gang, claiming that his ATK chain didn't stand for anything.
How long you lived here in Houston?
I be in and out of here, so like I've been in and out of here for like 2-3 years, but I just be in and out.
Like back and forth?
Yeah.
So where do you claim residence? Where you from?
I'm from Florida, Jacksonville.
You from Jacksonville?
Yeah, I'm from
Duval?
Yeah.
That's where that JKF is. Because when we ran, you came back as a. Are you claiming anything back in Duval?
It's me.
Like gang? You in a gang?
Nah, I ain't in no gang.
They got you registered as a gang. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
What'd you used to claim on it? Is it young Gee or young?
I don't.
That's what it came up in the system. I'm just asking you.
That was like my rap, my rap was rap name, but we had fell out, you know.
Oh, that was your rap group.
Somebody signed a deal to everybody.
Are you still rapping?
Oh, okay.
ATK, is that what you have?
It's 11.
You said what?
It's 11.
11?
A label.
A label.
Oh, a label. Oh, okay. Is that your label? What does it stand for?
He got no meaning to it.
Just 3 letters?
My brother came up with
Come on, there has to be a meaning to it. So if I Google it, what's going to come up?
I even got interviews, you can look on interviews that tell you like, it ain't no meaning. Like nobody know what it means, everybody just come up with their own meaning, but it's not no meaning.
If there ain't nothing going on, why do you, like, I guess, refuse to consent? Just out of curiosity. I mean, it is your right, I get that. That's just why, just the principle.
I'm just trying to get the trying to be.
Okay.
Yeah, they brought out the Belgians. Them dogs, boy. Look at him. That shit crazy how they train them dogs. It cost them like 50 racks to train them dogs like that.
Hey, we done learned on the time. Y'all can be the time.
You just gonna put your cell phone on top of this box?
Damn, bro, he done been through a lot of shit, man.
Hey, probably get a female. Asian, is there something in that car? Because obviously the dog says there is. Yeah, there's something in that car. And I know you might know what it is. Because you know, if there's something found in that car, no one takes responsibility for it, everybody gets it. Okay? I'm going to give you an opportunity to clear yourself, clear your name, if there's something in that car that don't.
You see how they be trying to get niggas, man? Hey, that's how they try to get you, though, man. If you don't claim response, man, if you don't tell us if it's something in that car, man, everybody going down for it. Fuck it, then we just all going down for it. You know what I'm saying, man? Because I ain't nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Ain't nothing in there. Shit, man, that's just how it is. And it don't look like she folding neither.
Belong to you. Okay, have a seat.
The fact that the dog alerted in the car means that there's narcotics in the car. You know what I'm saying? It means that at some point somebody was smoking, probably outside. Let's say this. Somebody was smoking outside.
Oh, there's a gun right here. Yeah, well, she said there's a gun in her purse. There's a gun right here too.
Huh?
It's a Draco.
Damn.
Draco.
Oh yeah.
But shit, he in Houston, I don't think
Sounds
it's
like
illegal.
someone knowledgeably took ownership of the gun, or custody of the gun.
Keep your camera on at all times, bro. Because that is a ton of money.
Hey, how many guns do we got total?
We got 3. He's a gang member, so he's not allowed to be in the car with him.
Sarge may want to come over here.
Yeah, go ahead and Sarge.
You want me to go hit it? Go ahead and hit him?
Is that a G-Wagon?
Yeah.
That Draco belong to you? It's in your possession. Right in front of your feet. Huh? It's yours now. What else can I find?
There's another gun.
That cold, man. It's yours now.
The one I found was a 357.
Oh, this is a rifle. This is a rifle.
We had a good alert on K9. Right now we got about 5 guns. One's a Draco, one's a AR pistol. We got a overwhelmingly amount of cash. Quite a few stacks. So
Like 30,000.
about 30,000.
Bro, hey, he got 2 nuggets of weed over here on his door.
There we go.
There goes his deal that he never got weed in his car.
Yeah.
Right there.
Hey, we found the blow.
That's okay.
Yeah, behind the driver's seat. Maybe 4 or 5 grams. Not much.
Separately packaged?
No, just one wadded up Ziploc. It looked like something he tossed to one of them. Said, "Hey, hide it." I do have to read you your rights. Okay, you don't have to say anything. I just need you to listen. All right. You know, listen. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided to you at no cost. You have the right to have this attorney present during any point in time and during any questioning by any law enforcement or prosecution. Okay, you have the right to terminate the interview at any time. You have the right to not answer any questions at any time. You understand these rights as I've read them to you? Okay. All right, go ahead, come on up. Right here at the back, please. Right here. That's Mo. All right, man, so obviously you're kind of aware of everything we found inside of the car now, right? You don't know what we found? Okay, so we found 3 weapons in the vehicle. Do any of those weapons belong to you?
No, sir.
No? Do they belong to the females? Well, they're in your car, right?
Yeah, ask them.
Okay, well,
I'm in the tank.
Yeah, you're detained. You're not free to leave. So do you want to answer questions or do you just not want to? You don't want to answer any questions at all? Okay, that's your right. You can get back in the car then.
Clearly the cops were onto Ace, but that didn't seem to have any effect on what was about to happen in the streets. On the 21st of June 2024, which just so happened to be a Friday, the Jacksonville rapper Foolio turned 26, hopping on social media and letting the whole world know where he would be celebrating his birthday. He would share multiple posts that advertised his birthday weekend activities on Instagram and even directed his followers to send him a DM for the...
See, this what I'm saying, this right here. Knowing what kind of shit he into and what's going on, he doing shit like this. This is moving like how he's saying in his songs, like, bro, this to me is like, I'm just fuck it, man.
Dress. But as prosecutors would later argue, these posts handed his killers the one thing that they had spent years looking for, his location. Several members from the 80K and 1200 side of the war, who you will have become quite familiar with throughout the course of this video, would be particularly interested in getting Foolio's whereabouts. This included, of course, Isaiah Chance, aka Gudda Zay, and his girlfriend Alicia Andrews. The Murphy cousins, Rashad, aka Ghost187, and Davion would be thirsty for their get-backs on Foolio, and then there would be Sean Gaffright, the person who perhaps has received the most media attention after being involved in the Foolio hit due to the fact that his privileged middle-class background made him stand out from the other members involved in the hit, despite the fact that he had seemingly been very deep in the streets, shooting at Ops and Foolio himself in the time that actually led up to Foolio's murder. According to prosecutors, Alicia Andrews and Gudda Zay would act as the tracking team in a silver Chevy Cruze, while Sean Gaffright, Ghost, and Davion Murphy rode in a black Chevy Impala and acted as the shooters. However, prosecutors said that the planning actually extended beyond the 2 vehicles that were following Foolio that night, and at trial, prosecutors pointed to Cash App records that showed J. Breezy sending $390 to Gudda Zay before the Tampa Airbnb booking, before the group traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa. There, they were captured on Ring camera footage and surveillance videos, while also leaving behind phone records and other digital evidence, such as Sean Gaffright's alleged iCloud screen recording, which showed him watching Foolio's Instagram story and searching for Airbnbs that matched the description.
8:30, 8:40. That's a work day before the murder happens. That's 8 hours before the murder happens.
Damn!
And we know that this defendant, look at the problem solving right there in real time in that evidence, the decision making going on. And then we're going to see him start using the multiple filters. A property on the water, a property with this many rooms, a property that has a pool, a property with a barbecue. Trying to figure this out.
After midnight, Foolio's entourage had moved from the birthday event to a hookah lounge and then headed towards a hotel complex near the University of South Florida. Around 4:40 a.m., as Foolio and his friends had just gotten into their vehicles in the parking lot of the hotel, the ambush begun, as 3 masked gunmen opened fire into Foolio's Dodge Charger and nearby vehicles with rifles and a handgun, killing him and wounding 3 other people. The gunfire was so violent that bullets struck the vehicles, hotel windows, and even rooms where innocent guests were staying. During the medical examiner's testimony, jurors heard that Foolio was struck multiple times, including a fatal wound that passed through vital organs and caused rapid blood loss, with one wound apparently causing him to lose around 2 liters of blood in an instant.
So if you don't have enough blood in your vessels, you can't maintain your blood pressure, and you can't get blood up to your brain or to your heart. And then the fact that the one bullet in his chest passed through his heart muscle, it caused structural damage to the heart, and so you're going to be more prone to having an abnormal heartbeat. So both are, and combine that with the blood loss and him not getting enough blood to his heart, you kind of have both of these mechanisms happening at once.
And tragically, photos of Foolio face down, halfway through attempting to climb into the back of the vehicle before he died, would later circulate on social media. Throughout June 23rd, 2024, several of Foolio's rivals connected to 1200, ATK and NHG celebrated his death online. But what later stood out to detectives was just how quickly Isaiah, Guddaze, Chance and Rashard Ghost Murphy had started posting. Just 18 minutes after the shooting, Davion Murphy saved a photo of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick celebrating a Super Bowl win. And around 3 hours later, Rashard Murphy posted the photo on Instagram.
Approximately 8:10 a.m., several hours after Mr. Jones was killed.
And again, what is it for the record?
A screenshot of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick celebrating something.
Then, just after noon, Rashard Murphy posted, Prosper and Junior G-Day today, 187 babies. Paying respects to Prosper Johnson, the 1200 member killed alongside Deonta Tay Halsey, allegedly by Julio Foolio's uncle Big Gino.
Like I said, I'll be hearing, what's his name, man? Damn, dog. I be hearing him, Prosper and Tato. I be hearing him sing that in his Lil Papa. I hear him sing his, he says his name a lot in his music.
In 2014, Rashard Murphy, aka Ghost 187, had named his own son Prosper to honor his friend, and on the night of the murder, Big Gino's son, Gino Norris Jr., would be sitting inside Foolio's Dodge Charger and would be wounded when the gunman opened fire and killed Foolio in Tampa.
When you woke up, still in the back seat?
Yes.
What did you see when you woke up? What did you observe?
First thing I saw was a little Foolio laid up. And then I looked up, saw the holes in the window. I saw Jose covered in blood.
Did you at some point realize that you had been injured?
No, I didn't really realize that till we got in the hotel.
Okay. Is Mr. Jones, does he appear to you, what shape or condition does he appear to be in?
Like he gone.
However, Gino Norris Jr. was not the only person around Foolio that night with a connection to Rashard and Davion Murphy's past. In Rashard Murphy's post, JR referred to him and Davion Murphy's cousin, Gerard Adams, aka Spaz, who was shot and killed outside Rains High School after a football game in 2018. 6 years earlier, Kenny Capps had been arrested for the shooting outside Rains High School that killed Rashard and Davion's cousin Spaz and wounded 2 other people. But after witnesses recanted or refused to cooperate, prosecutors reduced Kenny Capps' charges before he was released in August 2023. And Kenny Capps had also traveled to Tampa with Foolio's group, although he was riding in another vehicle as they returned to the hotel.
When you actually arrived at the Home to Suites, did you stay inside of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happens next as you are at the Home to Suites?
That's when I hear the shots go off.
Could you see where the shots were coming from?
No, ma'am.
What did you do?
I ducked.
That meant that 2 men traveling with Foolio on the night that he died were connected to the deaths of 2 people close to Rashard and Davion Murphy. During the trial, Kenny Capps testified that after Foolio was shot, he talked to Rashard Murphy on the phone, who forgave him and asked him where he was and that he had seen him around.
What did he say?
He forgives me.
He forgives you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he say anything else in the texts?
I think to call him.
Did you actually call him?
I'm sorry, all right.
Do you recall what that conversation was with him when you actually called him?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say during the call itself?
He forgives me again. He forgives me. And where was I?
Did you understand where were you to be about? Or did he give you any kind of context when he said where were you?
Where was I? I was, just where was I?
What did you respond to that?
I was around.
And did he say anything else?
Stuff like he seen me.
Where?
Walking down the stairs of the club, I guess. So he seen me by the club. Seen me at the club. He said I was paying attention.
That you were or were not paying attention?
I were paying attention.
However, the trial never revealed whether Rashard was trying to set Kenny up to get the final man in their crash-out mission for Get Back. Anyways, on the day Foolio died, Tay shots went live as Guddaze and Ghost appeared in the comments, with Ghost writing "brother" followed by laughing emojis. Meanwhile, Queso was recorded on the phone in a jail call dancing to the news of Foolio's death. Whopper with the Chopper also posted an Instagram story declaring that the war was won and over. Likewise, Spinner Benz posted the news on his Instagram story with the classic song "It Was a Good Day" by Ice Cube. The disrespect spread all the way to Louisiana, where Louisiana rapper 23KB, an associate of the late Jada Youngin, posted photos of him strapped outside a Holiday Inn hotel. Following Fulio's death, many people asked why he continued taking these risks when he knew how badly his enemies wanted him dead. By that point, being difficult to kill had clearly become a major part of Fulio's public image, but still his later music showed a much darker side of how he viewed his life. In April 2024, just months before his death, Fulio released I Don't Need Love, where Fulio rapped that he kept on losing friends and tried to hide how badly it affected him, and even that he wished he had during an earlier shooting, while admitting that even his mother could see how tired he'd become. Later in the song, he admitted that he no longer wanted to and referenced taking pills, describing the violence around him as a cycle that would never stop. On one side, he sounded exhausted by the violence and the pressure of constantly watching his back. On the other, surviving every previous attack appeared to make him more confident that he would survive no matter what happened next. Unfortunately, both of those feelings might have followed Fulio into his final birthday weekend. During the later murder trial, Kenny Capps testified that he warned Fulio to stop drinking and posting online, but Fulio told him to relax and let him enjoy his birthday.
Did you have a conversation with him about the amount that he was drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that have been at club number 1 or club number 2?
At the Airbnb before we left in the club.
Chillingly, Fulio's final night also brought the story full circle with Young and Ace, because after surviving the 2018 ambush that killed his brother and 2 close friends, Young and Ace explained that it had been his idea to take his best friend out for his birthday.
Cause I insisted, like, look, bro, let's go out to eat. It's your birthday. Yeah. You know, my best friend's birthday. I'm like, it's your birthday, man. Let's just go out to eat. And my other little brother.
According to Ace, they understood how to move in the streets.
And it's just like, he had just graduated. You know what I'm saying? Like a week, 2 weeks before, he just graduated. And then I'm like, yeah, let's go out to eat, man. Let's go have a good time. Let's go. Cause it's something that we don't do. We don't eat out. We in the street. We know not to even move like that. You know what I'm saying?
But that night, however, they went out to eat and were having too much of a good time before they got caught lacking.
Knowing the rules of the game, you know, just got caught slipping in the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? We just lollygagging, man, laughing, having too much of a good time. You know what I'm saying? It ain't wrong to have it. Ain't.
But it can cost you.
It can cost you.
6 years later, Fulio appeared to make the same mistake while celebrating his own birthday. After his death, some members of the Duval County subreddit described his behavior as by ops and suggested that he must have become tired of living under the constant threat of danger. Other commenters argued that he had survived so many previous attacks that he had become numb to the danger.
Wait. His birthday was on the 23rd. He died on the 23rd. That's what happened, right? Because if that happened, that shit is crazy. Man, that's crazy.
Meanwhile, some believed that Fulio felt safer because he was several hours away from Jacksonville and surrounded by a large group of friends. But unfortunately, while Fulio was trying to relax and enjoy his birthday, trial evidence would later show that the group targeting him had indeed traveled all the way from Jacksonville to Tampa just to kill him. Later that day, one of the most upvoted posts on the r/Duval County subreddit would sadly pronounce that now the entire Jacksonville drill scene was officially dead without Fulio. However, the biggest response eventually came when Young and Ace finally broke his silence on the situation, giving the fans exactly what they wanted and breathing the last bit of life into the Jacksonville drill scene, giving it one last encore by releasing 2 diss tracks back to back aimed towards Fulio within just days of his murder. On June the 23rd, 2024, the day that Fulio was killed, Ace released a song called Do It. In the song, Ace described receiving an enemy's location before ordering armed men to find and kill an op. Similarly, the music video showed masked men shooting another man in what looked like the parking lot of a motel. However, according to reports, Ace had actually previewed this song Do It long before Fulio died, meaning that the song was not originally written about that Tampa shooting. It was probably just rushed to be released to cash in on the high-profile death of his longest-running op. But then, on June the 28th, Ace would release the song Game Over, that appeared to have actually been inspired by and made after Fulio's murder. In the music video, Ace would be seen smoking a cigar and being served a glass of Don Julio tequila as a diss towards Fulio in the intro, taking a puff of the cigar and a sip of the Don Julio and confirming to the camera that now Fulio is dead. It's game over. On the track, Ace violated Fulio in every way possible, and this track to me was pretty much the season finale of Jacksonville Drill. On it, Ace did a victory lap and danced on the grave of his longest running op, saying that he smokes dead people and that he smokes 6, inferring that he was the one responsible for Fulio's death. Ace described receiving a call around 5 in the morning saying that Fulio was dead, and describing the shooting, rapping that 4 people had been shot but only 1 died. This lyric being a direct reversal of Fulio's lyric in When I See You, where he raps about Ace surviving while his brother Quan and his friends 23 and Kobe were killed. Ace would then go on to say that he warned Fulio and 6 Block that they didn't want war with him. going on to say that he told his gang members to step hard, inferring that he's the one who sent the orders to kill Foolio. He went bar for bar describing the scene of Foolio's death, rapping about bullets flying through his windshield, and going on to say that he told 6 Block not to play with him and to watch what they say to him. Claiming responsibility for the murder again, he says that he kills for his gang, and that anyone who went to his brother and their friends' graves and took a picture got killed too.
He not really claiming it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ross do sometimes be kind of on, you know, the federal side.
He goes on to say that anyone on his kill list got killed, and saying F anyone, saying RIP Foolio, and daring his ops to come outside and avenge him. In lyrics that no doubt had prosecutors salivating, Ace described himself as the Don Dada of his gang and claimed that he runs this, and referencing Foolio's hit song Voodoo and his earlier lyric where Ace said that it wouldn't save him, Ace said that he'll need voodoo to come back to life, going on to say that he doesn't know why his ops ever thought they were up on the score when he was always up, and saying that he will kill any rapper who messes with him, and going on to confirm that he has bodies, and saying that when 23 died he lost his mind, even warning the city another body was on the way and that he wasn't done having people killed, ending the track with a final diss saying him and his crew take Don Julio shots to the face after saying the shooters wore masks so the case wouldn't get solved. But unfortunately for him, this was definitely not a cold case. After the release of Ace's song Game Over, it led directly into one of the strangest parts of Foolio's story and his death. 5 days after Foolio was killed, his Instagram account appeared beneath Young and Ace's post promoting the song Game Over and simply left a trash can emoji, basically calling the song trash from the grave. Soon after, Foolio's Instagram account returned with a cap emoji and a popcorn emoji, making it seem like Foolio was in the afterlife, calling out Young and Ace for having nothing to do with his murder and sitting back and enjoying the popcorn, whilst people on social media went into a frenzy about Foolio potentially still being alive. Around the same time, Foolio's page uploaded an older promotional clip of him telling his followers to follow another account.
Hey, this Foolio, man. Go follow my people Fuel Packs, man. I'm gonna put their app below and I'm gonna put their tele link right there. Go subscribe to the tele too for all the highs and the lows. It's coming wherever you at, man. Whatever state you in, man. Fuel Packs. Go follow my people right now, man. Let's get it.
Soon after this, an Instagram story claimed that Foolio was the first rapper to make $250,000 from a promo ad. Even more impressive with this coming after he died, although there was never actually any evidence that confirmed that the $250,000 payment for the post was actually real. By July the 1st, the posts on Foolio's page became even stranger. First, the account reposted Foolio's No Jumper comments, where he claimed that he was impossible to kill, along with a caption saying, "I'll never die, I'm a demigod." Later that day, the page uploaded an edited WWE casket match clip showing Foolio's face placed over the Undertaker with his iconic background music as the wrestler rose out of a casket coming back from the dead.
Oh my God. Oh, people crazy, man. Who did this shit?
Above the Instagram story, the caption read, "My grandma does voodoo," a reference to Foolio's infamous song Voodoo. Meanwhile, a separate post combined the wrestling edit with the older footage of Foolio rapping inside of a vehicle. In the caption, the account claimed that Foolio was still here and would soon shock the world when the time was right, responding to Young and Ace's diss with, "Game over? The game has just begun." The following day, Foolio's account commented demigod, followed by a devil emoji, beneath a post of a blurry photograph being circulated of one of the shooters at the crime scene. Then on July 4th, another message appeared alongside a close-up of Foolio's diamond-covered watch and bracelet. Titled "The Life of a Demigod," the story claimed that nobody could ever kill a demigod and that the power of voodoo was real, and soon the world would be shocked. By then, Foolio's followers were completely confused. Some questioned whether Foolio had somehow faked his death, while others joked that his family's connection to voodoo had brought him back from the dead. However, his death had already been publicly confirmed by his family and attorney. Even after Foolio's funeral, the messages would continue. On July the 12th, the page shared a short God of War clip showing Kratos, and over the clip, the account wrote, "Just know that I'm still here. Once time is allowed, I'll shock the world, and you know you can't kill a demigod." Finally, the main page uploaded older footage of Foolio discussing a visit to a voodoo woman.
I hit up the woo lady, the voodoo lady, and she did my shit and got my shit right. Yeah.
Speaking of like voodoo, like that's heavy out this way?
Yeah, that's all through Florida.
Its caption claimed that Foolio was still here and still standing, and announced that new music was coming, even telling fans to stop believing anyone who said that he was gone. Then finally, on August the 5th, Foolio's mother, Sandricus Mays, explained what had actually been happening. According to Mays, somebody else had Foolio's Instagram password before she recovered access through his phone and took back control herself.
Who's running his account? Is that something that you approve?
I'm running his account now. Before
somebody had his password or whatever, and I'm just able to retrieve it from his phone or whatever. But before, I wasn't running his account. But as of right now, you can see the different stuff on there now. Me posting songs or whatever. Now I am running the account.
Still, she's never released publicly who it was that previously possessed the password or whether Foolio had actually planned some of these posts before his death, but around the same time, Maze was apparently preparing a posthumous album that was called Demigod that was eventually officially released on September the 23rd, 2024, and that was one hell of a rollout. Since several of the earlier posts had teased new musics, the account activity was most likely all just promotion for this posthumous release. However, nobody involved ever confirmed that promoting the album was the original reason behind the posts, and some people to this day still believe that maybe Foolio still is alive as a demigod. And after all the self-snitching that went down, it didn't take long for all of the suspects in Foolio's murder to be tracked down and arrested. The first 3 arrests went down simultaneously on July the 29th, 2024, about a month and a half after the murder itself, with dramatic footage of each arrest taking place that made them all look like scenes out of a Hollywood movie. Huge SWAT units were seen moving through Jacksonville in this quick-fire arrest operation. Isaiah Chance was arrested in a dramatic raid captured on 4K cameras in the pouring rain.
Isaiah Chance, this is the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. We are your front driveway.
Man, this shit do look like a movie.
Come to the front door with nothing in your hand. We are not going away. Walk this way. Listen to the instructions.
Yep. Hey, keep your hands up and walk out towards me. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Hands up. Keep your hands up. Hands up. Don't reach for your waist. Put your hands behind your back.
That nigga get on his knees in the rain.
There. Stay there. Don't move. Isaiah Chance, right? All right, 10-4.
Female accomplice Alicia Andrews was arrested in the same operation.
Keep walking. Now turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Damn, she ain't got no shit.
Is there anybody else inside?
And Sean Gathright was arrested in a parking lot.
Open the car door! Let me see your hands! Step on out! Step on out! Look away! Back up to the sound of my voice! Yep. Stop right there. Lift your shirt up. Turn. Do a 360. What? Just listen to us. We'll talk about it. Keep going. Keep going. Turn. Turn. Now walk back to the sound of my voice. Come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Walk back to me. Hands behind your back.
3 days later, Rashad Murphy was arrested too. Weirdly, 2 different sets of footage of his arrest have circulated, and I believe that he was chased and tased during a first arrest attempt before the official murder charges. And it seems like he was re-arrested a few days later in a dramatic raid where a battering ram was used.
Damn.
And the kids, please, like, tell them to stop recording. I'm talking about the broadcast right now.
And finally, Davion Murphy was arrested 6 months after the murder took place in Jacksonville, smiling in a police photo that was taken immediately after his arrest. Following the murder of Foolio and arrest of all the suspects, Alicia Andrews ended up going on trial first. Her defense argued that she traveled to Tampa with Gutta Zay without knowing that anyone had planned to kill Foolio.
1. On the weekend, Charles Jones was killed. Alicia Andrews was on a weekend trip with her boyfriend, with only one agenda: to be with her boyfriend. 2, Alicia Andrews is not in a gang.
How do they, you know what, man? How do they be feeling doing this shit, knowing that, you know what I'm saying, she already guilty?
3, with the exception of her boyfriend, Alicia Andrews did not know any of those men in that group, and none of those men in that group knew Alicia Andrews. As a matter of fact, if there was some conspiracy, Alicia Andrews was not in the loop because she was not in the group. 4, Alicia Andrews is not a part of the drill rap culture.
However, prosecutors argued that she helped provide cover and helped track Fulio's movements, as well as claiming that she lied about her role after the shooting.
He posted where he was going to be on his Instagram. She follows his Instagram. She doesn't like him. It's clear from her messages that she does not like Charles Jones. Why in the world would she need to follow him? She follows his Instagram. She books that Airbnb. She does it on June 21st of 2024. She is trying to book the Airbnb. She's not the actual one that books it because the co-defendant, Rashad Murphy, ends up doing it. This falls through. But it is clear that she is in the loop. It is clear that she is participating. She is the first one that tries to book the Airbnb in Tampa. Using her for cover, she was a part of it. She was an active participant.
One of the most damning pieces of evidence against her were her messages sent in 2021 where she claimed that Fulio needed to die.
The exhibit where Alicia, 17 years old, says that Fulio needs to die.
On October 31st, 2025, the jury would reject her first-degree murder charge, but found Alicia Andrews guilty of manslaughter, and on May 22nd, 2026, she was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Meanwhile, on April 22nd, 2026, Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy, Sean Gathright and Isaiah Chance all went on trial together in Tampa. The state argued the defendants had brought Jacksonville's gang war into Hillsborough County and turned Fulio's birthday weekend into a planned execution.
There is nothing fun about the gang war in Jacksonville. And on June 23rd of 2024, this violence spilled into Tampa when these 4 men decided and planned and came to Tampa for one night, for one purpose, and that was to hunt and track and kill Charles Jones.
Meanwhile, the defense tried their best to separate each man from the shooting, as Rashad Murphy's lawyer argued that he couldn't even be placed in Tampa at the time of the murder.
Rashad Murphy, plain and simple, cannot be placed in Tampa, Florida on 4:40 a.m. on June 23rd of 2024, when Charles Jones, Fulio, was killed.
However, that was no good when they had him texting his friends after the hit, saying, "I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched, I'll pop a bottle of Don Julio today," signing it off with his name, Murphy. While Sean Gathright's lawyer argued that he was barely 18 and had no real part in the killing and had just been caught up in a situation that prosecutors were stretching too far.
Sean Gathright had no part in the shootings that took place here in Tampa. He was a barely 18-year-old young man who found himself caught up in a whirlwind here in Tampa.
Ooh, damn,
he found himself caught up in something that, as you've heard about for these last 5 weeks, he had no part in, ever.
Isaiah Chance's lawyer argued that the evidence didn't prove that he fired a weapon, ordered anyone to shoot, or knowingly joined in a murder plan.
Isaiah Chance was in Tampa, and Charles Jones is dead, and that is a tragedy. But they still have not proved he knew about the plan, he agreed to the plan, he took an act in furtherance of that plan.
And Davion Murphy's lawyer argued that there were no text messages, no DNA, and no direct physical evidence proving that he helped plan the murder.
Phone doesn't ever show him leaving the Airbnb during the time of the shooting. He's never seen with any weapons. There's no DNA evidence linking Davion Murphy to any firearms, to any crime scene, nothing. There's no text messages between Davion Murphy or any of the other defendants. of some form of an agreement to come down to Tampa and kill Julio Charles Jones. There's no agreement to hide any firearms.
However, none of that worked, and on May the 8th, 2026, the jury would find all 4 men guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy in the killing of Julio, which would be swiftly followed by the prosecutors pushing for the death penalty. In the process of deliberating whether the killers of Julio will get life in prison or death, one of the most chilling moments took place, when somebody from a hard labor camp took the stand, pleading with the judge and jury that Julio's killers would be better off for society, enslaved to a lifetime of hard labor, rather than being put to death by the state, something that went viral on Reddit, warning the youth of Jacksonville that real-life slavery still exists for those who commit murder in the community.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes. With my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator, he's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put him out there.
That man ain't gonna put his ass to work. Whew. Man, it ain't worse than fucking Russia prison. I tell you that. I'd have sent his ass over to Russia. Look, we got a few motherfuckers we want to send over there to you. Man, they'd have been over there crying like a motherfucker.
It'll work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration. We have that, so we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
This lifetime of forced labor was described as sweat equity, and this phrase would go viral around the Duval County subreddits as a catchphrase that really summed up what was waiting for you as the true outcome if you really decided to get sucked into Jacksonville's gang war. Young and Ace and Julio made the gang wars look cool on songs like Who I Smoke and When I See You, but now the viral hook was sweat equity. And this was a sobering realization for many of the fans who had followed this gang war since the viral drill songs. Commenters couldn't believe that these human murderers were being spoken about like livestock. People said that the remainder of your natural life being described as sweat equity would have had them crashing out and jumping over the stand to attack the judge. A lot of people just couldn't believe that they were witnessing real-life slavery being discussed in 2026, but acknowledging that Julio's killers really brought this on themselves with their awful decisions to take someone else's life. At the very end of the trial, approaching the sentencing, the killers as well as the judge had opportunities to speak to the court. The way each of the shooters went about the incident kind of said a lot about each person's motivation and backstory. Now, I've already done a whole separate, much shorter video just focusing on Sean Gathwright and how he actually came from a privileged and well-off family with a good upbringing and really had no business stalking a rapper to his death. But the way he went out at the trial was truly pathetic. Despite what he clearly did, participating in the ending of another man's life, he couldn't seem to accept that his life was truly over before it had even begun. In his parting speech, he spoke like a motivational guru, quoting the Bible and claiming that he still has faith he has better days ahead of him. Speaking with a level of self-pity that many people saw right through, Sean really had the balls to compare himself to the prodigal son from the Bible and basically claimed that as an 18-year-old his brain wasn't developed enough to know not to commit murder, and complained that it was just so unfair that he's not old enough to buy a beer but can still be sentenced to life in prison.
Here we are, being sentenced for the murder of Charles Jones on the day he was killed 2 years later. Now, some may say this is just a coincidence, but I believe that nothing has been, is, or ever will be left up to chance, and that everything in this world is predestined. And there are many biblical promises of that belief holding true. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Jeremiah 29:11 says, "I know the..."
Nigga, you should have been reading that shit before you went on the mission. His shit, that was the first thing he should have opened up.
"Plans I have for you, plans for good and not for disaster." Everyone wonders how and why I ended up in a situation like this.
He thought this was gonna work,
despite growing up with a loving family, nice home, multiple opportunities, and promising potential. Some act as if it is impossible or unheard of for someone like me to find themselves in a situation like this. But in reality, it is much more common than we think. It has been happening long before today. There is a parable Jesus shared with the world called the prodigal son. A son who had the nice home, loving family, yet he still chose to take his inheritance and venture off to a far country where he indulged in prodigal living. After this eye-opening experience, he decided to return home. He was ashamed and planned to go to his father to ask for forgiveness and to become one of his servants because he no longer felt worthy to be called his son. But when he returned, his father embraced him with love and compassion, dressed him in the finest clothes and jewels, and celebrated his son's return with a feast, exclaiming, "This son of mine was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is now found." It is not uncommon for good young men who come from good families to get lost in this world. And those of us who come from privileged upbringings are actually disadvantaged to the fight against it.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Nah, for real, bro. Like, man, you waited this long to start talking like this, nigga? Nah, man, hell nah. I'm sending you to Russia, nigga.
Because of the high expectations, any opportunities and options we grow up with, we don't know what struggle looks like, or how hard our parents had to work to provide these opportunities for us.
White folks sitting right there like,
we don't know
man,
what
we don't give a fuck what you talking about. Can you hurry up, nigga, so we
and it
can
often
send
happens
you off?
after we go through our own eye-opening experience. Never in history has there been a time like now, where there is so much available and so easy to consume, but we still demand more, and it is clearly seen in my generation. Young men and women want to grow up faster, to try to keep up with the influencers that are idolized, and this is in part due to us being so susceptible. A study done by the National Institute of Mental Health provided evidence showing that the brain doesn't reach full maturity until 26 to 27 years old for men.
He thought that was
about
gonna work
8 or 9
too.
years older than my time during the offense. But society knows this, and that's why laws set age requirements on certain activities, amenities, and substances as a way to protect adolescent adults. Yet those same laws don't extend to an adolescent adult when they are charged with crimes and allows them to be prosecuted to the fullest extent, regardless of their age. Your Honor, it is heartbreaking that an 18-year-old can't rent a car or a hotel or buy a home, but can be sentenced to death or life in prison without the possibility of parole. They
Boy,
can't
I don't
purchase
give a fuck
alcohol
about
or
what you
tobacco,
talking about, man.
but can be
Shit,
sentenced
it's
to death
over for you.
or life in prison without the possibility of parole. And I'm a prime example of these circumstances. At 18 years old, with no prior convictions, I was charged, indicted, and had to face the death penalty. My point is, society views anyone under the age of 21 as not being mentally mature enough to participate or partake in these activities, amenities, and substances, because certain substances listed can negatively impact or stunt the growth of a developing brain, while other activities and amenities have restrictions due to the lack of impulse and behavioral control or lack of situational awareness at times with teens. It is very simple to understand that our brains have not
This nigga
developed
wrote an
enough,
essay.
that we live in a society where someone under the age of 21 can be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole. We leave no room for growth, rehabilitation, or redemption. We don't account for the fact that they weren't a fully developed adult and their judgment and decision-making abilities weren't developed either. I believe it is cruel for someone under the age of 21 to be sentenced to life without parole or death before they're even old enough to be fully emancipated or to fully comprehend what consequences their actions carry. I say all this because I want to see change. Change for those whose fates were sealed long before they were born. Change for the prodigal sons and daughters who ventured off too far in the world and got lost. I believe that I am exactly where God planned for me to be, a plan He created long before I was born. It is also my belief that this chapter of my life will propel me to a much greater purpose than what we see here today, because my journey has just begun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gathright.
Well, that's how that sweat equity will have you talking in court, folks. Isaiah Chance, on the other hand, would bring up his own sob story, claiming that all the other suspects were shooters, but he was only a lookout like Alicia, and she got manslaughter, but he ended up getting life for murder. An argument which the judge quickly shut down, reminding him that she had actually blamed it all on him.
Unlike the rest of my co-defendants here, they all are charged with being the alleged shooters and have the same verdicts. However, me, on the other hand, the one who was charged with me for playing the same alleged role as I, gets found not guilty for what I am charged with. Alicia's case didn't contradict the alleged shooters versus the state case. I don't even think it's possible it could have. However, it contradicts mine being the only principal here. Because both of our jury's decisions contradicts each other.
Get some help.
The only nuance is I went to trial with 3 other people who have the same verdict as I, and she didn't. Alicia get found not guilty for my current charge. It wasn't a coincidence.
she went to trial. She was convicted of a manslaughter and got 15 years, and now you're here facing life. And that, I would assume, that seems unjust to you. Is that correct?
That's highly unjust. If you say that's justice, okay, but when you look at, if you put me and Alicia up on, like, side by side, that's unjust. Like, it's injustice. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's contrary to my verdict. Like, her jury made their decision. My jury made, well, our jury made their decision.
Nigga, she wasn't in a car
but
with
it
you,
contradicts,
nigga.
like, both of our verdicts. The only difference is, like, I went to trial with my co-defendants and she went to trial by herself. So I feel like, personally, I got guilt more so by association than, like, participation. That's all I really wanted to say. Judge, sorry, because this is way more harder than I anticipated. But that's all, though. Thank you.
Man, sure. You gotta be thinking about the long game, man.
You probably know when Miss Andrews went to trial, she basically pinned it all on you.
Absolutely.
But after that, he would see a little bit of sense, sending a message to the Jacksonville youth, warning them about being involved in these notorious gang wars, and saying that it's just not worth it, and that after all the clout of killing Fulio, all he has left is a lonely, empty cell.
You know, when, as I sit with my lawyer, like, he's very, like, he's probably shivering over there because he don't know what I'm gonna say out my mouth.
Right. He's very concerned.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say something to, like, Jacksonville, though, too. So, to my city, man, it ain't worth it, boy. Like, it ain't worth it. Like, me being a rapper from my city and Fulio being a rapper from our city, it ain't worth it. Like, my mouth getting dry, sorry. Like, the dissing.
His mouth dry because he's scared, he's nervous. Man,
like,
he getting dehydrated.
For what? Like, for what? Like, when you sitting in your cell alone.
That's why he can't be fucking with that liquor.
It's lonely as hell in that. Everybody leave you. Like, nobody here for you. Like, the ones that's your ride or die, your girlfriends, whoever you love, the only person there for you is your mother. And maybe, like, one friend, maybe. But it ain't worth it.
Man,
though,
do time. You doing life,
it.
bro. Everything
I
will be
was
gone.
21 years old facing the death penalty. I never ever, my only interactions with law enforcement was traffic tickets. Wake up next morning, I'm facing the death penalty. That's how quick life can change. It ain't worth it, bro. That's all, though. And sorry if I was nervous. Sorry.
No, it's okay, Mr. Chance.
Davion Murphy would go on to make a statement saying that really God has the last say-so, pretty much just standing 10 toes on everything he did despite tactically retaining his innocence. He would also warn Gen Z youths to do something more productive with their lives than what he did, claiming that really it wasn't worth it, and just admitting that this isn't his first rodeo or time going to jail, and that he would stay positive.
Yeah, it look different from up here. To God be the glory all the time, and he'll forever have the last say-so in our situation. As I said in my interrogation interview, I'll be judged for it and I'll forever retain my innocence. And I just want to say to the Gen Z generation, change your life and do something productive with your life. Because in this predicament, it ain't worth it. And like it was said before, this is not my first rodeo down this road, so it's looking like forever, but I'll forever keep a positive mind state and a positive mindset, but to God be the glory forever. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy.
Now, arguably, Davion Murphy took the sentence with the most dignity, and in contrast with Sean's pathetic display, many on social media actually respected the way Davion carried himself, with him even smiling at the end of his speech and stating that he essentially did what he was supposed to do, with many people respecting the fact that he actually stood on business, avenging his murdered and disrespected relatives, made his family and community in the streets proud, and accepted his fate like a real soldier. By contrast, Rashad Murphy had just completely given up at this point, choosing not to even stand up and address the court, simply telling the judge while sat down, "I love everybody and I apologize."
Mr. Rashad Murphy, anything you want to say or at all? You don't have to. Just giving you the final chance.
I love everybody.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. All right.
However, on May the 15th, 2026, the jury rejected the death penalty and recommended life in prison without the possibility of parole for all men. So finally, on June the 22nd, 2026, Judge Sisko formally sentenced Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In a harrowing speech before handing down the sentences, the judge admitted that the war in Jacksonville was out of control, and that Foolio going to film at dead ops' graves arguably made it more likely that he was going to be killed, and sort of inferring that he deserved it. Something which wildly elicited a round of applause from defendant Davion Murphy.
I really don't know what to say about what's going on in Jacksonville. Again, and I don't know if it's getting better or not, but I was stunned. And when I was sitting there listening to the evidence and just the trail of dead bodies, just one young man after the next, just cut down in the prime of their lives. I mean, it's shocking. It is shocking. Yeah, and I just can't believe that any community, if they're made aware of it, will stand by and put up with that. I mean, it's just tragic. And, you know, Mr. Jones did not deserve to die for what he did or the drill rap videos he made. But goodness gracious, going and desecrating the gravesite of a murdered relative is... You don't deserve to be killed for that, but you just increased your odds that it was going to happen, and that's the truth. That is the truth. So I'm not at all, again, stating that he deserved it, but
calm down now, man.
It's just shocking. It's shocking to me. And I do have great sympathy for the defendants. You all, for the most part, are young men, and some of you have children. And now, for what? For what? Now, you're looking at life in prison. And what was it for? Mr. Chance, guilty. Count 1, sentence you to mandatory life without the possibility of parole. Mr. Gathright, guilty. Sentence you to life without the possibility of parole. Mr. Davion Murphy, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. Sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yeah, see, premeditated mean they pretty much scouted. They wanted to do it. They planned. They, looking through the phone, doing all that shit for the Airbnbs. And then, man, they executed. And then you think about it, they also thinking about you guys had enough time while you were driving here to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? Had they just got caught with the weapons in the car or whatever, they probably would have got, you know what I'm saying, maybe 3 years, a shackle on the wrist or something, get up out or whatever. But at the same time, would that been enough punishment for them, bro? Because they would have still been active. But y'all got to know this is shit that these niggas been dealing with. And like old boy said, I seen some of his interrogation, man, where he said, I think I watched some of it with y'all, where he was pretty much like, man, I think his grandma or somebody had a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? From the songs Julio made, man. And you know what I mean? Fucked, man, I think she died or something. I don't know, man. Shit, man. And, you know, that shit was hurting her. You know, people got to think, man, you know, about the victims, man. Like, you know, what about the victims, man? The victims' family and shit. Like, you know, how they feeling about the shit you saying and the things you doing. So, yeah, this nigga kind of went out like a G, bro.
Rashad Murphy, guilty of murder in the first degree. Sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Despite many people, even the judge, believing that Foolio somehow had brought this death on himself. At the end of the day, one person who had never asked to be involved in Jacksonville's deadly gang wars was Foolio's mother, who would ultimately go on to speak following the trial, sharing her thoughts and feelings on everything that had gone down.
I'm saying right now, it is not worth it. I don't care if somebody talked about this person, that person, or whatever. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words don't ever hurt. And you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for your actions. You're going to have to pay for it just like my son did. He had to pay for the words that he was using out here.
It's just sad all around. Like, there's really no winners in these situations. Yeah, you might get a little bit of social media clout, and yeah, you might get a few more fans and so forth, but look at what happens when the dust settles. People dead, people in prison, people dealing with having to cooperate against their own family.
Damn, but didn't
people
his mama get shot?
you know, mother's grieving, father's grieving, you know, your daughter doesn't have her big brother anymore. It's just a very, very sad situation.
Yeah, nobody wins in the end. Nobody has won since Charles has passed away, any of them guys. Nobody has won in the end. People say, oh, such and such won. Nobody has won in the end. Because what's going on right now? Absolutely nothing. So the end result is zero. They are all talented rappers. They could have went way further or whatever, making good quality music or whatever, but absolutely nobody won in the end. And these are the end results. Death, in jail, and living life miserably.
Well, you said that more people will be arrested around this case.
Well, as we heard on the stand that the detectives say, it's still an open case.
Sadly, to a lot of people, Jacksonville drill died with Foolio. In 2026, Young Ace has never been less relevant, and clearly he's lost interest in making music. With no one to rap about, he pretty much seems resigned to just sit at home playing GTA and waiting for a Rico to come.
I ain't got too much longer in it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got it in me, bro. But it's my fault, though. I don't even be dropping for it no more. But it's only cause I be feeling played. I don't even make music for people no more. I make that for me.
Now, a lot of people believe that this scene was already dead before Foolio died, and his assassination and the trial was really just the final nail in the coffin, or the season finale, if you will. Now, I'm not saying that to minimize the reality of this tragic situation. This isn't a TV show. This is a real-life gang war where real people died. Families grieved their murdered children. Toddlers got caught in the crossfire, and in the end, nobody won. Not even the multi-millionaire rappers who were the top of the totem pole in this beef. We're 5 years on from Who I Smoke and When I See You, and listening to those songs now is a lot less funny and much more sad and haunting. I've always said that gangster music, despite its negativity, is at the very least a method for troubled youths to make legit money and get themselves out of the poverty and danger of the streets. And at best, it's a genuine artistic outlet and therapy for these scarred young men to actually express and process their pain. But these days, in 2026, the rap and drill game is beginning to feel as dead as the Jacksonville drill scene. The biggest and most poppin' street rappers from every city fucked around and found out the hard way that really living those gangster raps is not a long-term plan. Lil Durk is looking at life in jail for murder for hire charges that he rapped about for years. Pooh Shiesty is facing numerous decades for robbing a rapper, just like he said in his songs, and Young Ace is really just a walking, breathing Rico case waiting to happen. I think a big reason people lost interest in rap over the last couple of years is because all of the cool, tough gangster guys that had the aura have really just shown the world where this sort of behavior gets you. Dead or in prison, or now just completely fallen off. Despite people like Drake popping out and breathing some commercial life back into the rap game, on the whole, the genre is still, sadly, very much in decline. For me personally, I'll never abandon my love for rap music. My passion for these stories, the personas, the people that live them, and the history behind the music got me hooked on rap in the first place. But the era of the rapping gangster outlaw, who's really living his criminal raps, is over with. Thankfully, we still have creative people flying the flag, people like Playboy Carti, Big X The Plug, Don Toliver, taking the genre in creative new directions and still clinging on to the charts. The people that got it right now are the ones making that aspirational and positive, catchy music that doesn't lead kids down these dark paths that the drill rappers did. Nowadays, all this gangster rap, it doesn't make me feel tough or like I want to go and hammer a good work.
Man, I guess that's it right there, man. We're gonna stop it right there, man. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Like this is, man, 33. That's a lot of people, bro. A lot of people. You know what I mean? And then when you think about it, it's your own culture, man. It's your own people, man. Like, damn. You know, and then it's like I said, man, that they whole drive there, they could have thought about a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They could have, in their mind, they could have been like, you know what, man, let's turn around, man. You know, because, you know, if we get caught, nigga, we done. And then they went to Tampa where the death penalty is alive and well. If it wasn't for a boy talking about some slavery and shit, we need them. Man, them niggas probably got the electric chair. It would have been 30, 40 years later maybe, but you know what I'm saying? Shit, man, they'd have been walking around. What color is that jumpsuit? That motherfucker yellow or something, ain't it? Shit. Hey, man, but it's the mob, man. Do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Hype this video, man, so it can hit the algorithm. Hey, and if you like this one, I'll leave part 1 and 2 up at the top. You can go check that out. You know what I'm saying? Start from part 1 and 2. You know, you can't just start from part 3. But for those who've seen part 1 and 2, here go 3. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.